Nice
Hello,
to see you.
handsome sir.
Well, thank
My God, you look fabulous.
Well, thank you very much.
Oh, here we are. Here we are.
And well, here, look at you. Yesterday, I was standing outside. I saw a car pull up, and there you were.
Oh my
Yeah.
God!
I love this picture. You look so happy.
Oh
and
my!
you're-
Well, you know, I'm here with these two beautiful films that I love so much, and I love these directors. You know, and I do pride myself in the fact that I'm here with two female directors.
right.
Na 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 na.
Yeah,
You know
yeah.
what I mean? As you know, with the controversy that erupted during Venice, there were no female, and it's always a struggle. But Toronto has a lot of female directors.
Well,
And there's still not enough. I mean, we still need more, but
Yep.
it does have more than any other festival.
and Ruba lives here. Ruba's
Ruba
Canadian,
is
so.
Miss Canada.
And you have a relationship with her that goes back some time now. What is
Yes.
it that makes it work between the two of you?
We like our hair and our lipstick and our high heels. Ruba and I are very similar gals. I have 4 older sisters, and Ruba is truly like the little sister I never had. We are like family. We have a second language now. We just have, it's kismet. And I think I'm just the luckiest gal to know her and to have her so deeply in my life, in my professional life, in my personal life. She's I know her family now. I know her partner Greg of 20 years ago. She's been together with her. I know her sisters. I know her parents. I know her nieces and nephews. She knows all my friends in New York City and my friends in Los Angeles. We just are each other, and we're family. Mm-hmm. And we have become that. But yet we are able to separate all of that when we enter the workplace. And we're both workhorses. Right. We are women. We're very high energy. We don't take no for an answer. We'll fight to the death. And, she's Syrian Palestinian and I'm Southern, so watch out.
That's funny. Well, this film is much different than Cairo Time.
Yes.
It's a much different thing. And
but it still has her pull. It still has that Ruba of beauty and that pull, yes.
Well, there's what I liked about it is it could have been a genre movie. It could have just been a fairly straight ahead.
And I think she had pressure for that. And
yeah.
Again, she doesn't take no for an answer.
Well, but of course, right?
Yeah.
Of course that's what they, like, let's make it as straight a line from point A to point B as possible, right? That's what.
Yeah.
And this movie doesn't do that. This movie takes some little curves and humanizes everyone. You understand
Very
things.
much.
The hug between the two of them at the end. Holy God Almighty! I don't want to say anything more than that, but
just
wow.
leave it at that.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Come on, who would
do that?
That's Ruba.
Yeah.
See, Ruba knows how to. She knows how. She has the courage to make films that people think that people want to make,
right.
that auteurs, that filmmakers think they're making.
Right.
But she actually has the courage to do it.
Yeah.
You actually have to do it. You can't think that your film is subtle and pulled and take risks in having long silences and really, and having archetypal characters and then suddenly making them incredibly human and incredibly vulnerable and incredibly surprising. And not having a pace, not having a traditional thriller pace.
Right.
It's Rubenata pace.
Well, there was a point in this movie that I thought, am I watching the Rubenata Patricia Clarkson version of All Is Lost? Because there's no dialogue for a very long time in the middle there. And I thought something would happen that would just see you against, because I knew there was a thriller element. Ruba had told me 2 years ago about something. Yeah. So I knew something was going to happen, but I wasn't sure what it was going to be. And so I thought, wow, this is going to be, Woman in the Wilderness, and that's cool too, but it's not that.
It's not. But it is a moment. Ruba just lays it. She knows how to lay it out. She knows how to. But we also we're aided by, beautiful talent of, it's also the talent of Scott Speedman and Tim Roth, who can lay it out too. So,
And Callum Keith Rennie.
I
know, yeah.
The master.
Yeah.
The
Callum,
master. No, he's a master.
And also the coolest man in Canada.
No, he's the master of cool, and he's truly one of the most handsome men in the entire universe.
Yeah.
Can you imagine? I got to be in a film with those men.
Yeah.
I mean, again, na. I arrived on the set and I was just like, oh my God, Ruba, I have died and gone to heaven.
I'm on an island with these three men.
I'm on an island. Because not only are they beautiful men physically, they're also, if you threw all their handsomeness out the window, they're gorgeous actors. I mean, they're first class, top of their game, singular actors.
Yeah.
And they all brought their A game.
Well, Scott's from Toronto. Callum's from British Columbia, but Scott's from Toronto. I remember walking down the street one time. It must have been during TIFF, although I don't remember. This was years ago, 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And he was a real up-and-comer at that moment, right? Everyone was talking about him. And he'd done a Gap ad or something, and there was a huge poster on the side of a building
and
of
they
him
used to do those Gap
doing
ads.
one of those, right? And it just says in the corner, Gap, whatever. And I see him walking down, and he's wearing a T-shirt and jeans and stuff. He looks like the guy in the Gap ad, but he's still, he's probably smoking a cigarette.
Yeah.
And he's walking down the street, and we stop, and I know him a little bit, so we stop and talk for a little bit. And I said, that's quite something. And he looks around, and he goes, yeah, I know. And it was just so kind of like... He's the size of a football field behind me, and I'm really not terribly concerned.
Oh my God! It's so crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy, but it's exciting. It's beautiful and exciting. So
we're also here to talk about learning to drive.
Yes.
Second time with Sir Ben.
Second time around, baby.
Yeah, and is it better the second time around?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, it's different. Shorthand.
It's different. We know each other. But it's better in that I had more to do. We're the leads of this film, and in Elegy, I kind of had to come in short shifts and kind of have, a punch and a pow. And but it was beautiful for us to come back together. As you know, this has been an 8-year journey of me with learning to drive.
Yeah,
for me,
I know.
With this film, and
how do you stay with something for that amount of time? Because. I know movies take a long time. I know that, projects you always hear.
And movies with middle-aged take it's light years. 25 years old, it's years.
Yeah.
It's a year.
Yeah.
Middle-aged, light years.
Right.
So I never gave up. Dana Friedman, who's the producer, I never gave up.
Right.
I never, for a moment, the phone records that I have for this film, it's been through, director attached, couldn't raise money. We had to move on, found finding, an Indian co-star. We don't have a lot of stars.
And you needed star power to get this made, I guess, right?
And yet, originally the character had been written as a younger man, but it could never have been anybody but Sir Ben.
Mm-hmm.
It was a glorious day yesterday.
Yeah.
A glorious, euphoric, out-of-body experience yesterday for me after 8 years, and Dana Friedman 10, because she had the script before I did. Right. To be up there, to see this film and this rapturous applause. I mean, I've been at TIFF quite often. I've never had that quite. And the laughter, this is why I hung in there. It's why I love Ruba for her beauty, her sex, her sensuality, the pauses. It requires such stillness and poise, and it requires such inner strength to play Rubinada's characters. And it requires me to be such a leading lady, which I am so flattered and honored. And this part requires such and it required such physical strength.
Right.
This required, me, such comedic, physicality and rage and goofiness and just down. I had to be able to let myself look silly and crazy. And, and it's rare for middle-aged women to have genuinely funny, we don't get the funny sex scenes. The young people, but we don't get to be the comedic drive of a film. We you know, we're the mom off to the side who comes in and honey, you know.
But see, the thing that amazes me about this, and it's true, we know it's true. But who's going to movies? Older people go to,
Well,
like,
that's what- that's what I-
kids go to see Iron Man 500 times.
Yes, they go
But
to see they go to see Hunger Games.
Yeah.
I mean, although I love
The
Hunger
Maze Runner.
Yes,
Yeah,
they'll go to see Maze
that
Runner,
a lot.
which is going to be amazing.
I've seen it. I hosted the Canadian premiere of it. We had Dylan O'Brien, Will Poulter, and Kaya.
Yes, that beautiful.
The beautiful.
You know, I haven't seen it, but I know Wes Ball. That kid is very gifted.
Well, I'll tell you, with these three kids
Yeah.
these three actors that I bring out, people went nuts. Like nuts.
Yeah.
In a way that I hadn't expected.
And you know, as you know, I just come in at the end. You know, I have more to do in the second, but I come in just to be the thing. But anyway, we'll
Does that make it easier, though? What I think will be a franchise, like the Maze Runner, will that make it easier to get Learning to Drive Part 2 made?
Serban?
Block off
Oh,
next
I
year.
could only dream of. I mean, if I could do Learning to Drive parts 2, 3, 4, 5, I'd be there in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
I would shoot the rest of my life sitting in a car with Serban.
Or it could be Learning to Fly next year.
Yeah, Learning to Fly. It could be. Yeah. I mean, I'm game.
Yeah.
Serban and I in a cockpit. I'm ready. It was a glorious, beautiful experience to finally sit in that car with glorious Serban and Isabelle Cochette behind the camera. You know, she's the operator. She shoots.
And she does it all, yeah.
She's formidable, and she's a brilliant, brilliant lady and brilliant woman. And we shot it all in New York. We didn't fake a damn thing.
Yeah.
Every single thing you see in that film is the real thing.
Right.
We really shot in Queens. We really shot going over the bridge. We really shot in a New York apartment. We really shot, we shot in everything you see. Those are the real streets of Manhattan. It's the Upper West Side, everything. And it was so, and I think it is I think it lends an authenticity to the film, which was desperately needed.
Yeah.
And that's also part of the problem of getting the film made, is there was no way to cut the costs. Shooting in New York is still expensive.
Right.
And so we couldn't do it really cheap. We couldn't do it on the fly.
Yeah.
We had to have money to shoot in New York City.
Yeah.
And we finally got it because a gorgeous man named Gabriel Hammond stepped forth and wrote a check
Yes.
and became our producer.
Wow.
Yes.
Was he there yesterday?
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Are you kidding? Oh, my God. He was there with bells on. And he's a cool, cool young guy. He's very young.
Right.
And very, very successful young man. Has a beautiful brother named Daniel Hammond, who they're both brilliant, brilliant young men. And they became our producers, stepped in with Dana Friedman, our longtime producer, and we had to rock and roll, but we had money.
Yeah.
Enough money, not a lot. Not a lot, still very much in indie.
All you need is
But let me
enough.
tell you, we had enough to shoot these driving scenes.
Yeah. See, enough is all you need. Like the
Nobody got rich on this film,
Yeah.
but it wasn't a film about getting rich. Nobody made money.
Right.
Nobody made money shooting this film. This film was a labor of love.
Right.
Everybody came on board because they loved it.
Well, Terry Gilliam told me one time about shooting the Holy Grail movie, and he said, "Okay, I wanted King Arthur and all his men to come over a hill on horseback." And he said, "But we only had $1 million to make the whole movie, and it was going to cost $15,000 or something for the horses." And he goes, "I just couldn't do it." So he said, "Well, I put them all on broomsticks and with the coconuts." And he says,
Bring
"Now
out your
that's
dead."
And he said, "And now that's the scene that everybody remembers."
Oh my God! Bring out your dead.
So he said,
that is the one scene I remember.
And he says, if he had money, he said, I'd be a shitty filmmaker because you can throw money at stuff and fix things in a way, but if you actually have to think about it, necessity is the mother of invention.
No, But the nature of this film is there was only so much we could fake.
Right.
I mean, we couldn't. We really. I mean, every skyline had to be the real thing.
Yeah.
And the accident. You can kind of. So it was. But there were things we had to shift and things we had to lose, and because of time and money. But at the end of the day, beautiful people arrived. Sarita, who is more beautiful than Sarita? It's going to make me want to cry. Who is more beautiful? Okay. Arrived to do a part that's not large, but a part that's worthy of. It needed someone potent.
Right.
Jake Weber arrived to play my husband.
Yeah.
He's flawless. Grace Gummer arrived to play my daughter. Beautiful, beautiful Grace Gummer. We actually look like mother-daughter. We are in the same gene pool because you know who her mother is.
Meryl, yeah.
And, so all of these people showed up. These great, 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 great talent showed up to work for no money.
Yeah.
And Matt Salinger showing up to be my tantric sex man.
Maybe the sequel should be Learning Tantric Sex, and that is a movie you could raise money for.
Oh, no, that we could raise money for. Especially if I inverted, if I took I put Scott Speedman.
Listen, think about it. If it happens, I want, not much, just a little. Just a little. Well, thank you so much.
Oh,
Thank you.
it's always a pleasure.
You. Yeah,
You're so stunning. I'm so happy to talk to you.
Well, thank you.